Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go right out of the gate because I forgot to load the damn video. So
yeah, I normally rock out to that. I guess my juice is flowing.
Well, and I've got the graphic up. Ladies and gentlemen, you know how it works here. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But anyway, we'll play the ending. We'll play the intro at the end. So anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Contrarians live chat. It's Wednesday. The topic for tonight, dated 80s album covers. So we want to hear from you. Thanks everybody for showing up. This is going to be fun. We've got Todd Evans, Jamie Laszlo, Martin and myself, and Peter Kerr. And we are just going to have, this is really going to be good because I've already seen all the graphics and this is just going to be a hoot. So without any further ado, let's get started. I'm going to go as I see it. I'm going to go Todd, Jamie, Martin, Peter, and then myself. And we're going to go 3, 3, and 4.
Okay.
And Todd Evans, take it away.
Okay. Well, I will take just about any opportunity to talk about my favorite band. But I thought this one fit pretty well. This is IQ's Are You Sitting Comfortably? I believe it's 1989. And you got the robot there strapped to the chair with the laser eyes. And the back of it is even more crazy. And this is trivia produced by Terry Brown.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah. And then
Tiles as well, right? Tiles from Detroit.
Yeah,
got together with.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that.
Yeah,
I've never seen it before. All right.
And then the next one I have is a classic. I actually like all of these album covers. Soft Cell's Nonstop Erotic Cabaret, and I feel the neon up there and the font that's written in, and the glasses and the jackets. I figured that was pretty.
Plus
pretty
blue
cool.
and purple light, right?
Yeah,
it screams 80s.
Purple light, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then the third one, another one of my favorite album covers, but it definitely shows its age, is the Human League Dare, and it almost looks like a product, like a dish soap or something.
Yeah.
Oh
But,
my God, yeah.
Reminds me of Public Image Limited kind of.
It does, yeah.
There's a lot like this from the UK at this time in the synth pop thing, right?
Yeah.
It looks like a fragrance, an ad for a fragrance called Dare.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not sure if it's dated. I still think it looks pretty funky and current.
I was a little on the fence about it, but I thought it was.
What do you think? It's more the colors, the font colors,
because
it does scream kind of 80s.
And the makeup is dated.
I mean, there's a big movement at the moment called synthwave, and all the kids are getting into synth pop and 80s, and I think a lot of this is becoming popular again. So
I
think it's a pretty current sort of album cover.
Hey, if
brilliant
the
album.
came back, anything could come back.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't think guys are putting, what is that called? Eyeshadow in the corners like that anymore.
Yeah.
Have no
Maybe
idea.
not in Ohio, but anyway.
All right. Well,
right.
before we move on to Jamie, let's just see what's going on here. We got 51 watching already.
Holy
Wow.
crap.
So we've got Logan Collins has mentioned ZZ Top Afterburner, Car in Space. Jan has mentioned Faith No More, We Care a Lot. See Human League's Dare. Yeah, interesting. Rabbit, West Side Kid. Heart, self-titled. Yeah, more on that in a bit. Plenty of Adamant to choose from. Love Adamant. I've regretted not meeting him when he's come to Toronto here the last couple of times. This is The Modern World by The Jam, Starship Knee Deep in the Hoopla.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully, I don't want to read too many of these because they may come up. Logan Collins mentions Signs of Life, Billy Squire. Yeah, that's a perfect one. Queen, well, more on that one as well. So, yeah, let's stop there. Let's go over to Jamie.
All right, I'm going to start off with two that I thought were cool when they first came out, but haven't aged well. One we've talked about, but I'm going to do a little story about it. The first one is Jafria Silk and Steel. The color scheme, the hairstyles, just very,
That is brutal. Yeah.
It's got some good tracks on it.
That was bad. Yeah. Illustration like that, the hair. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I Must Be Dreaming is the best song Journey never wrote.
Yeah.
And then we talked about this one before, Under Lock and Key by Dokken. But here's the thing. When this came out, I remember being a little kid, young teenager, and I wanted Dokken to be as big as like Bon Jovi was exploding. So I remember taking this album to my mom in the kitchen to get a woman's point of view because I figured the lead singer had to be good looking to get to that status. And I went, Mom, is that guy good looking? And she was, I don't know. He's all right, I guess. And I'm thinking, is all right going to cut it for this band? Are they going to make it?
That's funny.
Holding the leg.
This one, you're going to date yourself unknowingly at the time. Right away, when you have an old school TV that nobody has anymore, would blow up your video, and you call yourself the album "Blow Up Your Video." No one really does videos anymore, so it's all just it was dorky and goofy at the time.
Yeah.
Now it's dorky, goofy, and dated.
Yeah.
There's that little red LED at the bottom there too.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh yes, and the up and down,
That dates
left
it.
and right buttons.
Yeah.
Brutal. Yeah.
That is brutal.
All right, let's just see what's come in since we heard from Jamie Sue sat in the next self-titled, says D-Rocker, Duran self-titled or Rio or any new romantic band actually. Let's see, Poison Look with the Cat dragged in. This is gonna go to various places here though. Sinful should have been done in the 80s, says Eric. All right, so my first three. Let's start off with Heart Brigade. This is a funny situation because we've got Heart doing this very, austere, high class. They seem like they want to be an uptown band, and their clothes are even more ridiculous, but the back as well, like that. I did a Contrarian show where I rated this my favorite Heart album, believe it or not. It's kind of a weird choice, but so just before you get kind of a different dated 80s. You get the black and white photo, grainy, but you also get, the pink on there as well. So that's very dated too, but you're almost like seeing a changing of the guard between 83 and whatever this is, 85, I think. So that's my first choice.
That's like 88 Brigade. 89.
No, it's 90.
It's 90.
Oh, it's 90. Oh boy, geez, I really cheated. I could.
Yeah, but don't think
That's close enough.
That counts.
Close enough.
Yeah.
the 80s. 1990 is the 80s. So.
Is it okay? All right.
It all blurs.
Okay. Well, I'm back in the right place with this one. I mean, you can't get a more perfect. This is probably like the winner of the whole show. Kiss Asylum. Because forget the hair metal stuff that we're all going to be showing periodically. This is like straight to the pastels, that type of photography, treated photography, the colors, and then on the back you do get the clothes, but again in the pastels. I mean, this is them absolutely participating fully in the hair metal thing, but so 80s. And my next one is Alice Cooper Trash. So this is an interesting choice that I picked because of the looking down. The looking down photograph is such an 80s thing. It's like I'm introspective Alice Cooper here. I'm a damaged soul, but I'm such a great artist kind of thing. So in the austere background and stuff, this just screams like a Sony album, right? And then on the back, kind of the same deal. Just a slightly different look. So that is my first three. Let's just see quickly before we go to Australia. We've got D-Rockers brought up Brighton Rock, Young, Wild, and Free. 38 Special, Strength in Numbers, absolutely. Is that JJ? Is that the die cut one? I think that's the die cut.
Die cut.
Yeah. Constrictor could be a choice. Yeah, for a whole different reason than the one I just picked. Magali Schinker Group, Perfect Timing. Yep. Absolutely. Prince, Purple Rain, a lot of purple on that one. Let's see what else. That Heart record Martin mentioned looks like a Foreigner album. Yeah, terrible album cover. Madness, absolutely. Can't picture that one. Haywire, Don't Just Stand There. Yeah, great comments coming in. Over to Australia.
All right.
Okay, so when we think of the 80s and we think of a female heavy metal rocker, one word, Lita.
Oh.
That's
I
my
didn't
Lita
know which
Ford.
one you're going to pick.
No. This is another one, but
Okay.
Lita Ford just sums up 80s heavy metal. That's obviously stage gear, but it's very 80s. Outrageous leather, the big share hair. I think nothing succeeds but excess, and Lita Ford definitely is 80s, a little bit dated. I don't mind the old Lita,
I have a
but
question.
this is the album I
Yeah.
wanted to
Oh, okay.
sort of.
But this
focus
fits
on.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just as easy. I do have a question.
2 liters on the cover. Isn't that 2 liters? I mean, that's kind of like multiple Ted Nugents on Free for All, a little bit, right?
Does
Yeah.
does anybody know the story why they changed the album cover? Because this is the original album cover, and then they switched it over to the one where she's playing her BC Rich. Probably the same damn thing, but it's a different.
Other than she wants to get you into her web.
Yeah.
They're both sort of got a web type
I just wonder why they changed it. I didn't know if anybody knew or
I don't
not.
know.
Yeah. Anyway,
Graphic blood.
love you, leader. Next one, Autograph. Known as a one-hit wonder for Turn Up the Radio. Much more smarter hair metal than people give them credit for. Loud and Clear was their third album. Look, you could pick any hair metal act in the 80s, to be quite frank, and this would come, fit this category to a T. The poodle haircuts, the fashions, and, they had this strange little Star Trek little symbol that was sort of an ongoing type of theme through their albums, like slightly 80s science fiction. But, Autograph, you could pick any hair metal.
And as much as
album
looking
cover.
down was 80s like, sometimes looking up was 80s like too.
Exactly. yeah, for sure.
And the very unusual poses, like the guy on the left-hand side with his cranked up leg, ready to run.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Anyone up for Richard Marx? Not me, but I'll put it up anyway. Self-titled. The King of Schmaltz. He's actually a very funny Twitter guy. He's very sort of vulgar. He's quite witty. If you look at his Twitter posts, he's completely a different person to the schmaltzy middle of the road act. But look, I had to pick this because you got the mullet, you've got the pose with the leather jacket, looking wistful to the audience. To me, it screams 80s and bad 80s. Very dated 80s. Richard Marx.
Yeah, to me, it does scream 1987. It just looks 1987. I swear to God.
Yeah. Where mullets were king.
Yeah. Boy, the comments are rolling in. We've got a mention from D-Rocker for Helix Long Way to Heaven. We've got Devo Shout, Fate's Warning, Night Unbroken, Manowar Into Glory Ride, David Bowie's Let's Dance. Yeah, absolutely. Great choice there, Normand. Yeah, excellent one. Any Tommy Shaw solo album. I did a whole podcast episode on those corporate solo albums. They all look like this, right? They all look like that Richard Marx album, essentially, right? Rand, just talking to Rand a little earlier. We're doing some business about a book project, as well as with these guys. But he's mentioned the Go-Go's Vacation, looks 1950s, but released in 1982. I expect Martin to mention Max Webster, Universal Juveniles. No, I won't be. Click. Let's see. Police Ghost in the Machine. That Tandy calculator graphic, pretty funny. Kink's Word of Mouth. Yeah, great choice. Steve Poleri.
Oh, I had that as an honorable mention.
That's
an excellent one. The colors, the graphics, everything. Journey Raised on Radio. All right, over to Grant.
All right. Wow. Everybody in the chat, you guys are on fire. Keep them coming. We'll try to get them to them as we can. My number one I start out with has just been mentioned, but we can look at it again together as a class. The Police, Ghost in the Machine, 1981. The Tandy calculator, Texas Instruments. That's the way the calculator looked like when I was in college. Yeah. So there you go. But I do like the cover, though. I didn't like the album when it came out, but man, now I love this record. It's my favorite Police album. Here's one that screams 80s, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know if Jamie might have mentioned this group before. If anybody here's going to probably mention it, might be him. We're going to go with the Mary Jane Girls.
No,
only for You, 1985. It's like they want to be, they look like they're part of Prince's entourage, even though we know they were part of Rick James' entourage. But does this scream 80s? Good Lord Almighty.
Speaking of Prince, has anybody watched that cool Netflix doc on the making of We Are the World?
Not yet.
Really good. Really well done. Yeah. Really cool.
All right. Number 3. We're going to go with the Electric Dream soundtrack. Look at that computer terminal. It screams 80s.
Yeah.
And it's also a great soundtrack too. That song Electric Dreams, I love it. So, all right. Anyway, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There are my 3.
Nice. Very cool. All right, over to Todd.
All right. I'm pretty sure that this is an 80s graphic look, but I don't know what it is. It kind of looks like if you went to Kmart in the 80s.
Yeah.
Remember Kmart? And
Yeah.
you bought something to like put on your dorm wall. It would look like this. And
I think that beats Kiss Asylum. Absolutely.
And the inside of it is like this chair. What? So
That's weird. I don't get it.
Trying to
Again,
be profound, Todd. Trying to be profound.
Great album. I love that album. And then I hope that's not me.
What is that?
Feedback somewhere.
It, I
It's
don't
the
know what-
80s returning. It's a wormhole.
Obviously,
We've been sucked back to
that's-
1986, Martin. What are we going to do?
It's
you look back behind everybody on the panel. There is a black hole behind us. So
It's true. It's that person with the
Matrix.
mouth trying to suck us in. Okay. Oh, I wonder if that's me.
Here we go.
Hang
well,
on a s-
What do you
No.
hear?
it's not you.
Oh, it's
Is
not
it me? Is it my washing machine?
It's you.
I don't know.
All
It
right.
is you.
Cool, though.
When
Hold
you
on
talked into it, it started to do it.
Oh, well, Contrarians controversy here.
That's all right. We have controversy here.
Okay.
on
So
Wednesdays. I
I'll
don't
go ahead and
know.
continue and see if it goes away. The next one in the Heart Brigade department is Foreigner Agent Provocateur, of course. You know,
That is interesting. I didn't notice that.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
so similar.
Wow.
but for whatever reason, when this album came out, I liked that album cover, and I don't know what I was thinking. I think I liked it because the back of it was white with the same thing. I thought it was kind of classy, but yeah, it's an F if you look really hard at it.
And,
And then,
after all these years, Todd, I did not realize that was an F until when
And-
we did a show the other day and we showed it. I'm looking at it going, I'll be damned, that's an F.
It's like if they had a meeting and said, well, we don't have any ideas for the album cover. Well, Foreigner starts with an F.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't even think about it.
and then, of course, Daryl Hall and John Oates, Private
Oh, yeah.
Eyes.
Good
Great
one.
album. Kind of an opposite there, and the graphics on the inside even look pretty 80s. But yeah, there's a couple of theirs that you could have used, but I think that's probably the one that most looks like, and that font with the two colors. And
Oh yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Definitely.
All right, over to the comments again. We've got Logan Collins coming in. Let's see. Genesis Invisible Touch. Excellent. Trimbods mentioned Priest Turbo. Absolutely. With those muted colors. Again, Scandal, original EP. TNT, Tell No Tales, says D Rocker. Rand Kelly comes in with Invisible Touch as well. Squeezy Side Story. Yeah, that's got, it's got the kind of rock pile look to it, right? Japan, more on Japan in a few minutes. Soraya first album, Cars Heartbeat City is a great example. Again, yeah, I mean, yeah, the viewers are on fire here. Absolutely, the comments are great here. CSNY American Dream, Tiger Tails, Young and Crazy. Yeah, that whole thing with UK not being able to do hair metal. More on that Friday morning on Friday at the Funhouse, Sea of Tranquility. We're talking a little bit about something like that. Chrome Destiny. Oh yeah, Asylum, Animalize, and Crazy Nights are all ultra 80s looking. Good point. Miles Davis, Star People. All right, over to Jamie, and keep talking. I'm gonna grab another drink. I'll be right back.
All right.
If most of these coming up, I do not own, and I will never own. But I used to own the next one, Raven. The pack is back.
The whipping boy of metal.
I thought that was Manowar.
That was terrible when it came out. What is that? 87 maybe?
86.
This is 86.
I reckon that
yeah.
album cover's been about 10 times on this album, on this show.
And I remember joining Columbia House back in 86, and I needed one more cassette to fill out that last little square. I'm like, I guess I'll get this damn thing. It's not
did
a
anybody
great
call
album.
them the Pack? I mean, did they just call themselves the Pack? Or
Yeah, well, they're back and they're coming out of the locker.
So Jamie, you didn't like this album?
No, I did not.
Well, I've never heard it. Just wondered. I'll try to keep away from it.
Okay, yeah.
Guys, they only claim to be bad.
Ridiculous thing there though is that All for One. Well, Wiped Out is super important. So is Rock Until You Drop. But All for One is just a classic heavy metal album. Those guys. I mean, we all railed against this so badly because the potential was incredible. All for One is just amazingly recorded. They slowed down. It was almost like their Black album, 7 years earlier. And it's such an absolute heavy metal classic. So anybody want to check out Raven, and Raven's been going for years afterwards and doing great music. I mean, they're really great metal guys, right? It's just they had this one sort of hiccup, but yeah, they were. It's almost like an Anvil situation where they were destined for bigger things on the All for One album, and then it all just kind of fell apart because of this.
Too bad for me. That was my first Raven album I ever owned. And my next one is Pretty Boy Floyd. Leather boys with electric toys.
I can't help but laugh at this one.
Yeah, even when it came out, man. I know there's going to be people, dude, did you ever hear it? It really rocks. No, it doesn't. It's not my cup of tea anyways, especially with a cover like that. It's ridiculous.
But they spell it with Z's.
I almost picked Trickster.
They're cool.
But Trickster came out in 90, so I passed on it. But that's another album. When it first came out, I was at the record store working and got it in. And I looked at it and said, that's ridiculous.
Even the band name's been used a few times, and it even sounds like a heavy metal band in the 70s trying to come out with a baby band, right?
Yeah.
Pretty Boy Floyd is a bad band name, too.
Yeah, terrible.
Pretty Boy.
Well, we know this came out in 89. They were pretty much doomed. Did they? I have no idea. Did they put out anything other than this?
I don't
or
think.
Were they a one-hit wonder?
I think that's it. Pretty much.
My next one is the first Billy Squier album. Is this the first solo one, The Tale of the Tape? Looking kind of feminine there. And this is my proof, and I'm going to take this to my grave. The Rock Me Tonight video did not destroy his career.
I agree.
He was flamboyant before. Other people were. Rob Halford came out of the closet. It didn't even put a niche in his armor as being a metal god. David Lee Roth was acting flamboyant, and him doing what happened was that style of music, that whole lover boy type thing, started to die out. Hair metal took its place, and he was doing subpar albums after Signs of Life, which I also have right here.
Yeah,
subpar albums, a change in the music, wind, and it wasn't that video.
He had to blame it on something.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't think Billy Squier's gay. Is he gay?
No,
I don't think
he's
so.
gay.
I don't think he's gay.
No.
I think he's just a good showman. I don't know.
All right, Jamie, was that 3?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's just see what's going on here. Rand Kelly's mentioned Gentle Giant Civilian. Yeah, it's looking a little 80s. Headpins, Head Over Heels, says D-Rocker. Trimbod, Japan. Well, more on Japan in a minute. Baron Cross, Tom Miccarini. Yeah, all the Christian metal albums, man. Oh, they're the worst album covers. Emerson, Lake and Powell. Yeah, it's a little austere and 80s looking. Kraftwerk, Computer World, and Techno Pop. Yes, 90215. Great example.
Yeah.
Scott McGregor. Absolutely. UFO Making Contact. Yeah, I was thinking of picking that one. Plasmatics, Coup d'etat, says Donald. Rissler, 1982. Roger Daltrey, Under a Raging Moon. Great choice. I saw Raven on All for One tour with Anthrax as opening act, says Normand Richardson. All right. So my next 3 start off with Rainbow Bent Out of Shape. Very, everybody's car. Actually, it was more like the mid 90s. Everybody's car was this green. This was a big green in the mid 90s. But anyways, it's with the rainbow done that way, it looks like a Human League album basically. Actually, everything about it does. You've got the the trick black and white photography and all that. Yeah, this is very 80s look on that. And then I've got Queen Magic. So there you go. The colors. The suits with the big shoulder pads in them, even though here they're worn by guys, and all this stuff on the back, the whole, I don't know. When did Roger Rabbit come out, movie guys? I'm not a movie guy.
88.
Round.
Anyways, it's got that
88.
kind of feel to it, I suppose, right? But yeah, there you go. So yeah, incredibly 80s looking, horribly 80s sounding Queen album. I hear Todd wants to do a Dark Horse panel on The Miracle, right? We're going to do that at some point
next
I'm
month.
hoping we can.
Yeah, sounds good.
Oh, it's on the books, Todd. Get ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
And my last one of this batch is Queen Ultravox Vienna. And I don't know which one that you've got. Okay, so you've got it up there because I just grabbed all my Ultravoxes because they all look like this. Although you see even Systems of Romance and early ones getting that way, right? But it's more like, early Cure kind of look. But yeah, well, that's another one of the same one. And there is my, I don't know, that's Rage in Eden. So that's very 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh my God.
and there's my Vienna. So yeah, just the the fashion sense there, the whole Duran kind of look, and yeah, the austere. Yeah, that's incredibly 80s looking photography.
Good record.
Styles. And then what else we got here? We got Quartet, same kind of deal. And we've got a different Rage in Eden. Yeah, there we go. So piles of Ultravox albums. So those are my over to Australia. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so next pick is Nick Kershaw. He was huge in the UK and Australia for about 3 or 4 years. And there he is with the mullet and the long overcoat and the metal Joshua tree. Remember an episode that we were covering about all this metal tree? He's found the metal tree and he's standing in front of it. So there you go. But Nick Kershaw, actually very underrated. He's actually playing in Australia next month.
I love Nick
I'll be
Kershaw.
seeing him, so that'll be good. Eurogliders. So this is an Australian band. So what I'm focusing here, which was a bit of a fashion on album covers, was fluoro. Fluoro was king. And you can see in this album cover, you've got all this fluoro tint. There was so many album covers. I think In Excess dabbled in it. A lot of those pop rock albums did a lot of the lurid fluoro cover. So Eurogliders, they're a bit of a pop band. They had a minor hit in America called With Heaven, but pretty big over in Australia as a pop band. Absolutely, the Eurogliders. Till Tuesday, I love Amy Mann. This was her first band. Voices Carry was the big hit. I'm just putting it there because it's 80s pose, it's 80s fashion, and it's 80s haircuts. And you notice where you have these 80s album cover poses, they just look so unnatural. They're all at right angles to each other. They're not looking. I mean, seriously, would anyone be doing a family photo that looked like that?
One person's always looking away.
Yeah.
Ultravox Vienna is like that too.
I don't have one family photo with Amy Mann in it. I will say that.
Yeah, that's right. Neither.
And I almost went with the Thompson Twins album, famous one. That reminds me of that one.
Yeah.
It's interchangeable, I think. But Amy doesn't look like she wants to be there. She is said that she really didn't enjoy a pop career because she's much more of a serious singer-songwriter now. But she looks like she just wants to get the hell out of that
I don't
photo.
know. I
She
think
looks
she
like
looks
she's got
happy
one
to me.
foot in that direction in that photo.
Yeah, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Anyway, till Tuesday, that's 80s.
Nice.
All right. That's
All right, let's just take a look at the comments here. Logan Collins has mentioned that Doc Holliday album, with the robot head.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, weird for a Southern rock band, that's for sure. We got Blondie the Hunter, that's featured on this show before. Let's see, Dave Edmonds Twangin'. Yeah, that's got that feel of the one we saw earlier. There's that whole rock pile kind of look aesthetic, right? Spandau Ballet Diamond.
I should have picked that. That's perfect.
That is perfect.
Good one. So thank you for that. The Who, It's Hard. Yeah, they're Pete's dressing very 80s at that point, right? Foghat Tight Shoes is a really good one too. Like totally anachronistic for a boogie band, right? Greetings from Timbuk 3, the album with Future So Bright, Gotta Wear Shades, says Chris. Jefferson Starship, Nuclear Furniture. We got Wrathchild Stack Attack. The UK Motley Crue, right? Rush, Show of Hands. Oh, perfect choice, Donald. Yeah. Nice one. Absolutely. That one's a winner too. That goes up there with Kiss Asylum and that other one we had up there. The Cure Boys Don't Cry. Any Paul Young album. Billy Idol Rebel Yell. Vital Idol. Whiplash Smile. Cindy Lauper, she's so unusual. Yeah, you guys are on fire. This is awesome. All right. Okay,
All right.
over to Grant.
All right. Hey, thanks keep them coming. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We've got a lot of people watching tonight, so we want to thank you. We're just trying to turn you on to these records. That's all we're about. So I do want to thank everybody for tuning in. My next I just laughed. Okay, here we go. My next one is Peter Frampton, The Art of Control from 1982.
Yeah.
What? I'm not sure what he's doing, but man, it looks like a computer game. But look at that Peter Frampton font. If this does not scream 80s, I don't know what does. And this album sank without a trace.
I've never seen it not in a discount bin.
I've got it on vinyl. I bought it.
I've got it too. I played it twice, and that's about
I
it.
don't think I've played mine yet. Is it horrible?
It's forgettable.
Okay, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Don't buy this record. So, I have to laugh. My next one, we're going to go with Kane Roberts from 1987.
Oh my God, what's that?
Yeah.
What the hell, people, is going on in this photo?
Oh man!
I know he's got a big gun and big guns.
There's a lot to unpack in here. What's happening?
Very Rambo.
In the street, but if you look at the artwork, it just looks very cheesy.
Yeah,
very
they're coming
80s,
after him. It
very
looks like.
cheap. And believe it or not, this actually was released on MCA on CD. It got a CD release. I have never seen this album out in the wild. Ever.
And then he's got a corporate one that's like the Slash late 80s, early 90s, corporate solo album look with the black and white photo trying to look like a pinup guy, right?
I just can't take this seriously. I just think it's not good. All right, here's yet another one. Midnight Star. Headlines from 1986, where Midnight Star tries to look like Prince again. I mean, this screams 80, and it's just bad.
Is that a parody?
You'd think.
Nope.
Is that serious?
It's serious. Midnight Star is very serious.
Right.
But anyway, there you
Talking
go.
about the
There's like an entire documentary on this whole black hair care products thing, right? It came out about 10 years ago or whatever. Like, it's a huge, complicated industry, right? And there it is in action right there.
Dan, I'm going to get you, sucker, do a bit on that in the movie.
Yes, yes, they
That's
do.
what I thought.
Well, I've got a funny story about something like that, but I can't share with the class right now. Maybe someday. It was just funny when I used to work in TV. Anyway, so that's my three.
Nice.
So,
Good for you. All right. Let's just take a quick look at the comments here. We got Andrew Meyer. Good to see you, Andrew. Here with the Magali Schenker Group. Perfect timing. We heard that one earlier. Cindy Lauper, she's so unusual. Cindy Lauper's a pretty funny presence in that We Are the World doc. Novo Combo, Animation Generation. Yeah. Nazareth the Catch. I looked at the various Nazareth ones. They're kind of all over the place, those guys. Let's see. What do we got? Jethro Tull A. Yeah, it's kind of futuristic for a folk rock band, right? Stevie Nicks Belladonna. Yeah. Vixen's first record. Yeah, very, very hair metal. Alda Nova Subject is a good one, says Ron D. Duran self-titles. Pretenders Get Close, says High Number. Don't know one song from that Frampton album, says Gary Joyce. Run DMC Raising Hell.
Neither do I.
Is back with a Visage, Midgers band. Absolutely good choice there, Rand.
Great.
Spoons Talk Back. Spoons is a Toronto band, right? Jeff Beck Flash. Haircut 100. Yeah, they're just coming. Joe Jackson Jump and Jive as well. Over to Todd.
Yeah.
Okay, well, as I was trying to look up some facts about this album, I found out that apparently a lot of people consider it to be one of the greatest album covers of all time. And I kind of agree, but this is Duran Duran's Rio.
Yeah.
And artist Patrick Nagel died in 1984 at the age of 38. Wow. And his stuff went mainstream. And so you could go to a department store and buy the pictures that look just like this. And a lot of people did. and they probably don't have many more. But even the back with that blurry skyline and
the McDonald's at Penn State main campus had all his artwork.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
Didn't he do Arcadia? Arcadia looks like that.
Yeah, it kind of does. Yeah, I
Roger
don't know if he did
Taylor-
it or not.
I don't
but-
think he did it though. I'm not sure who did Arcadia. I don't know.
Great album cover.
Yeah, I agree. And then my next one, this one is I think is quintessential 80s. Europe, the Final Countdown. Mostly because of the color and the, it's kind of is that supposed to look like electronics crackling or something?
Oh no.
And I kind of like it, but yeah, I think it's with those bright colors and
Joey.
it almost looks like Europe could have done like a whole series, like they could have done one in red, kind of like Genesis Abacab, and one in green, and but and then I haven't done any crazy metal ones yet, but here's my example. Madam X, we reserve the right.
Wow.
Guilty. I've got that.
Is that just absolutely hideous? I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
I remember seeing this come through the record store back in the day.
I keep
and,
forgetting the story, but I mean, Sebastian Bach was in this band, but he's not in it
Yes.
on this one, right? He was in before,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
And one of the girls is in Vixen or whatnot.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah, that's where Vixen pretty much came. I thought two of them might have been in here. Whatever.
Yeah.
Roxy, there goes the damn balloons. Roxy, the drummer, was in Madam X.
Yeah.
I remember my metal loving friends liked this album, but and then my next one is my last one is Midnight Star once again. No parking on the dance floor from 1983. Getting out of the Rolls Royce in what's supposed to be the street, but I'm pretty sure it's a studio. And
Yeah.
five
the
different
dance floor.
things.
Yeah, they're parking on the dance floor.
Oh, you're right. Okay, well there you go. Well, that's why you wouldn't want to park there. Yeah, there's something about the guy's suits and the ties but I kind of like the cover because I think there's an innocence to it that I think is kind of cool.
You know what's funny is how many people do they need in the band? Because
There's more in
there's
1983
8.
than there is in. Somebody got the axe because I think there's.
I think we
Go
should
back
do
to
a
that one.
ranking
I
the
think there's
Midnight Star
1, 2, 3,
show.
4, 5, 7,
Oh
8,
my
9,
God! Could
10.
you imagine?
Yeah, there's
Next week we're gonna rank the albums of Midnight Star.
Yeah.
I've definitely
That's
done
the only one I
multiple
own.
interviews
No
where
parking on the
band,
dance floor.
yeah, I've had a lot of interviews with bands where they've said things like, "We fired a few guys because none of us were making very much money per person," kind of thing.
right.
And
Right.
these kinds of bands, I remember hearing lots and lots of the hip hop stories when we were doing hip hop evolution of that sort of thing, right? It's like, too many people are getting
Too many
paid.
people. Someone's got to go. But I can tell you from my record store days in the 80s, these guys were insanely popular, guys and girls.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm,
All right,
interesting.
cool. Holy crap! People in the chat, you guys are all over it.
Yeah,
All right. Is that Todd? That was your final four?
that was my
Yeah.
final four.
Okay. Kyle has brought up Lionel Richie dancing on the ceiling. Speaking of Lionel Richie, he's the main guy in the We Are the World thing. Paul McCartney, Tug of War, so colorful. Patrick Schlosser has mentioned Poison. Look what the cat dragged in. We've got a mention for Slade. Keep your hands off my power supply from Steve
Yeah.
Poleri.
That's a good one.
Predator, Easy Prey. Yeah. That's a notorious Metal Blade cover that everybody jokes about. Gino Vanelli, Black Cars, and Big Dreamers Never Sleep. Don Johnson, Heartbeat. Oh, yeah, there's a winner for you. That absolutely would have been top
that's
5 on the
horrible.
show. That one
The
is
music
perfect.
too.
The
Absolutely
music's
perfect.
horrible. Just
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah.
Heartbeat?
Romantic
Was it
stuff,
Heartbeat?
Heartbeat was a pretty big hit.
Yeah, we've got the Japanese band Bow Wow, Beat of Metal Motion, Missing Persons, Spring Session M. Gillan and Glover. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Accidentally on Purpose, cheesy early computer graphics. Bruce Willis, Return of the Bruno. Yeah, that one looks
Yep.
Now, there's a
Classic
bad
album.
album, ladies and gentlemen.
great one. Great choice there. All right, over to Jamie for the final four.
All right. And speaking of Lionel Richie, I got Lionel Richie tickets for this summer here in Columbus. Going with my next one, the big comeback album of the Jacksons. Oh, we're here. We're back. We got Michael, Mr. Thriller himself, with his glowing glove and glowing shoes.
He's
So
cool.
buy our album. This album actually did well. I Googled it and it sold like a bazillion copies. I thought maybe it was a flop, but it was not. It sold like what, 4 or 5 million copies or something.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so. But yeah, that's pretty dated and they're trying to look badass, but they don't. My next one. Now it starts with this. I have this poster of the Beatles, and I think it was mailed to like fan club people around 65 or so, around Valentine's Day. Like, will you be our Valentine? And that's not too bad for the girls back in 65. But in 1981, no, it's not working anymore. It's just not working. So Ringo, put the roses away. Look,
Poor old Ringo.
What? I don't understand. Who decided this was a good album cover
yeah.
to grace this record with?
Or
I don't
album
know.
title.
And don't those roses have thorns against his face?
Not with Ringo. No thorns.
My next one. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to admit something. I have this Debbie Gibson album.
I'm going to see Debbie Gibson here in 3 weeks.
It's got some good songs on it. I mean, Shake Your Love is a good song, a foolish beat, and Only in My Dreams is fun. It's a decent album. But Tiffany, and this is kind of a cute album cover. Tiffany is, you want to talk about people that look unnatural in their poses in the 80s. It doesn't even look comfortable in the feathered hair. And it doesn't work. And when I saw her on MTV Classic years ago, I remember I was with the wife maybe 10 years ago, they were playing her. And I said, I don't get it. I don't see any it factor that she had. I don't know why she was big. I get Debbie Gibson. I get a lot of the other 80s divas, but I don't get her. And that's a goofy album cover.
You're not going to pull your Tiffany album out?
My Tiffany, I don't have a Tiffany album. I just said I don't get it.
I thought you had Debbie Gibson, for crying out loud.
Yeah, it's got some decent songs.
Oh God, this might be the best. The one that's coming.
And my last one is Kenny G, 1982 album.
Wow.
But here's the thing: A, how does it not remind you of that?
Oh yeah,
it does.
And B, so about a half hour before the show started, I said, I picked that Kenny G album. I'm going to YouTube it. So I'm listening to it, and it sounds exactly what you think it sounds like. And I'm reading the comments, and one guy says, I love those first two Kenny G albums. They had bite. And I will tell you, there is no bite in this album. The album cover bites, but other than that, there is no bite in that music. Man,
he looks like Richard Simmons in this.
Yes, I was going to say that.
Yes.
And there's no energy to that jump. He's very high up, but it doesn't look like he actually jumped, right?
No, because your arms would be like this.
He would be certain death if he landed.
I'd like to see the next shot, and he's like this.
Yeah. I tell you, he's kneeling, and
exactly.
He's kneeling
on the floor, and they
that's exactly what they did.
So
brutal.
How horrible! God!
All right. Okay. Well, let's see what else we've got here in the comments. Here we got Cars Shake It Up. Kenny G, precursor to thrash, says Logan Collins. Taylor Swift is now like Tiffany in the 80s. Let's see. Jesus Christ, that Kenny G album, LOL. Kenny G beats my Universal Juveniles pick, says Click. Nice. The Outfield is a good one. The Outfield Play Deep, says Kyle Hamill. All right. So my final four. This is actually a really good one. This is up there in the top 7 or 8. Loverboy Wild Side. Look at that. Look at my fully signed copy of that baby there. Hey, look at that. But yeah, we've got the typical hire a model in Hollywood gal and put her on a bike and have her rolling down a desert road, and then just the classy type styles, and then on the back the superimposed 2 shots of her like that, and the song title's done that way. I mean, everything about this is just a perfect 80s album cover. I mean, it's produced by Bruce Fairbairn. I mean, these guys are really navigating, moving from that lover boy kind of music that Jamie, you perceptively talked about with Billy Squier, into being a hair metal band. I think this went double platinum.
I reckon that's Martin. I reckon that's a doppelganger to a Hard album. The similar font, similar monochrome.
Yeah, you're right. Yep. And then you've got a Loverboy. I think this is just before it or just after. I don't know.
That's
I think
before.
This is before. Okay. So here is also an 80s looking one, you know, the laughing band shot, the in joke band shot there. And then we've got my next one, Culture Club, Color by Numbers.
Definitely.
Check that out. I mean, there is your perfect, all of those colorful clothes, the English synth pop kind of clothes kind of thing. It's an absolutely perfect one, just a million colors, the whole Cyndi Lauper kind of feel to it, vibe to it, right? But pre-Cyndi Lauper. And my next one is a little bit obscure, but we've got a point to make here. So we've got Andee Summers with XYZ. You know, the classy photography, like what is this all about? The inset photo, the type styles. It's very Rush like, you know, and Rush has a song that's kind of like that, right? But then right next to my Andee Summers was my Henry Lee Summer. So this was sitting right next to it, and I figured this is absolutely perfect. Look at that back cover.
Oh, mullet. Oh,
Absolutely perfect. And then
Richard Marx Part 2.
Yeah, exactly. Henry Lee Summer here as well with
What was
I've
his
Got
big hit?
Everything album cover. Yeah,
I'm trying to think of his big hit.
I have no idea.
I can't remember, but yeah, produced by him. Oh, it's interesting. But you know, the guitar slung over the back, it have guitar will travel kind of thing. Very 80s back cover too, with the soft look there. So that was right next to it. And then my last one is Japan with Tin Drum. Let me see which one of these is Tin Drum, actually. Okay, so there we go. Japan Tin Drum. It's kind of cool. I mean, one of my fond memories. I don't get to meet a lot of these people too often because I write too much metal stuff, but met Richard Barbieri on a Porcupine Tree tour, and so he's signing it here. And we've got David Sylvian, who played the Danforth Music Hall, one of the greatest concerts I've ever seen. David Sylvian solo, love his stuff. But yeah, there you go with the whole 80s look, the whole hair look there. And then I had a few other ones here that fit as well. Japan Exercising Ghosts. And just to show the difference, you know, early Japan looked like Hanoi Rocks essentially, right? I mean, that looks exactly like Hanoi Rocks.
Oh my God.
It literally looks like Mike Monroe there, right? And then this even looks more like a Hanoi Rocks album, right? But they were never a heavy band like Hanoi Rocks is a little heavy, right? But you know, they're more of a David Bowie influence art rock band, and they got more synthesizery. But that shows you the difference between, you know, moving over from the 70s Areola records to the you know, the artsy fartsy, aren't we clever Japan of
the record with the big logo, the red font, is that the first record where they look really metal or rock and roll?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, look at that back cover, right?
Holy crap, look at that.
Great back cover. Yeah. You know, and all the text is straight up and down.
Yeah, I like that.
That's the front. Yeah. So this is 1978.
Great band.
Yeah.
And real quick,
Wow.
Henry Lee Summer. I wish I had a girl that walked like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I remember
still don't
that
recognize
track.
it, but anyways,
That
That was a
you.
pretty big
Sorry.
hit, I think, wasn't it, Jamie?
Radio rock hit, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
That's your number 10. Okay.
Yeah, that's all of them. Let's take a quick look at the comments.
there's a
Here we
lot of
got
comments.
Warrior fighting for the Earth. Yeah, it's a good one. Joe Satriani surfing with the alien looks definitely kind of 80s. D Rocker, Lisa Price, Priceless, Rock Pile. Again, there's that aesthetic. XTC Drums and Wires, that abstract art aesthetic. Yeah, Cheap Trick, Lap of Luxury. I was going to bring that out, or Busted. Same thing. The soft focus photography. Let's see. Saw Henry Lee Summer on the I've Got Everything tour in '89, says the Dark Wizard.
All right, Wizard.
Yeah, but you probably wouldn't really admit that anywhere outside of here. But we get Journey Frontiers, Striper Soldiers Under Command. 90125 gets another mention. Yeah, Shaken and Stirred. I was going to bring that one out, but I did feature that on a previous tour. And I was going to bring up Boomtown Rats, Mondo Bongo as well, Trimbot. Absolutely. Van Halen 5150. Great one, Rand. Excellent choice. XYZ self-titled. Savage Grace, Master of Disguise. Now we're back into the scrappy metal look. Yeah, there's another mention for Shaken and Stirred. Prince Around the World in a Day. Cheap Trick, All Shook Up. The Hooters, Nervous Night. Exciter, Unveiling of the Wicked. Yeah, we're going back and forth from the upscale, austere new wave look to the scrappy, horrible metal look as we go back and forth in the comments here. But all right, over to Peter for his final four.
Okay, so even legends make missteps, and I'm talking about Dusty Springfield. She made a comeback album in 1985, and it's with White Heat. So to me, that just screams 80s.
Yeah.
Just the picture, the font, everything. So haven't got much more to say about that one.
Those don't look like her lips. It's like a hostage note.
Yeah.
Ransom note.
To me,
What's that yellow stuff supposed to be? Or what is
squiggle,
Yeah.
squiggle, but it's a complete whiteout. So it's a snow out type of album
I've
cover.
never seen that record. Oh, it's like Toto.
Yeah, exactly. Funny. Yeah.
It has a squiggle too.
Yeah.
Same
Actually, there are
designer.
a lot of squiggle albums. Chaka Khan, one of her albums in the 80s was all
Yeah, the
squiggle.
Prince
That seemed
one.
to be the very fashionable. So,
Right.
compilation albums, were they big in America? In Australia, they were huge. Like if you wanted to sample different acts, and I just put this up because this screams 80s, but bad 80s. But yeah, they're all sort of. We used to have a compilation album every 6 months, heaps of hits. This one, I just think it's kind of horrible. It's sort of like school kid art, and it's 80s, but yeah, it's just not great in any shape or form. Night Ranger.
Oh yeah.
Anyone that wears a beret and a jumpsuit, 80s.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that screams 80s to me all over. So
Those
Midnight
cut off
Madness.
sleeves that Kelly's wearing screams 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And that shirt. It's just a dumb
And-
album cover. I'll leave it at that.
yeah, not really good. And the final one is an English band called Shy.
Oh yeah.
and Excess All Areas. They were like a combination of Def Leppard meets Bon Jovi, and the lead singer's got the most widest wig
Yeah.
out you'd
looks
ever see in a
cool.
hair metal
Tony
band.
Mills, I think his name was.
Yeah. I'd be a bit ticked off if I was the band member in the back. You can't even see his face.
Yeah.
It's been completely excluded.
This
Anyway.
album cover reminds me of Kaja Gugu for some reason.
Yeah,
I
a little
don't know
bit.
why.
A little bit.
Hell, no one even picked Kaja Gugu tonight. I would have. That'd be perfect
Yeah,
one.
there's
That's
another one.
another perfect one.
Wow. Nice.
That's
All right.
it.
Over to Grant.
All right, here we go. Where it's okay, okay. I thought someone would have picked this, but I picked it, so I feel good about it. Platinum Blonde, Alien Shores, 1985. If this isn't 80s, I know I keep saying that
That's top
because
five.
I'm trying to one up myself. This is 80s, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, I like the way the font. Okay. I do like the way they've used colors on here because, you've got the pink at the top and the pink slowly fades, from blue to pink. That looks good. That's okay. I don't mind that. It's, but man, does it look out of date. My next one, we're going to go to Kraftwerk, Computer World. This was mentioned in the comments before.
Yeah.
What is this, like a computer terminal? Could be a TRS-80. I don't know, but come on. Back when it came out in 81, it probably looked futuristic. But as the 90s unfolded, looking more out of date as we kept going. Great record, though. I will give you that. We're going on that computer thing. I'm going to go with Utopia, POV. This, if you can't tell, well, it does. The band looks 80s, I would say. Todd's got that weird mullet haircut. Kind of a strange album cover. But if you notice on the outer fringe, it is the old Mac
It looks
OS
like a Mac,
window.
yeah. And the back cover of it looks like that too.
It looks like Macintosh System 7.
Yeah.
So
I love that cover.
there, what's that?
I love that cover. They're planning something very important.
Yeah, planning.
Secret,
They're trying to
but it's
plan
important.
And what does that remind you of? Except
Disillusionment.
Russian roulette.
Oh yeah.
And you notice in the back, ladies and gentlemen, if you know the Utopia album Raw, that there's the big Raw thing in the background from their stage show. No one really knows that, but that's what it is. So anyway, that screams 80s. My next one, I believe someone mentioned this. Martin had pulled one of these, but I think this screams 80s even more, is the 1985 Heart album where yet another band tries to look like Prince.
Wow.
Very new romantic, isn't it? Frilly.
I saw
Baroque.
them on this tour twice, and they dressed like that.
Howard Leese's hair got bigger and bigger until at one point it was like this big. It was
Looked like Amadeus or
Yeah.
something.
It's almost like the competition is between Kiss and Heart, essentially.
Yeah.
And maybe David Lee Roth as a solo act, right? For who could go the most 80s from a 70s, base.
I just, by 1985, and think about it when Heart came out, I think we've got Mark Andes playing bass. For God's sakes, he was in Spirit. He was in Firefall. Now he's dressed like a member of Prince's band. I just find it all odd.
I almost walked in on Nancy Wilson while she was peeing in the bathroom.
Wow.
That's a bit random.
Boy, wait, what? How did that happen? How did
Exactly
you walk in on
what
Nancy
washroom was
Wilson?
she in, and what washroom were you walking
We
in?
can't let you get away with this story.
Jamie,
was
you've gotta
playing-
fill us in. The
She was
chat room
playing
needs to know.
She was doing a small little acoustic concert with her one-time little band called, what was it? Road Case Royale. And she was playing my buddy's record store, Used Kids Records.
Mhm.
So we went down there, and he has a bathroom, and I know the guy, so I use the bathroom all the time without asking. And I was about to walk in, and I was a half a step from opening the door, and security stopped me and said, "Somebody is in there." I said, "Oh, okay, sorry. I didn't know what somebody." And out came Nancy Wilson, and then walked Laszlo and peed where Nancy just peed. I peed after a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer.
You guys almost crossed streams.
Wow, exactly.
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
Kind of romantic.
Incredible.
if you think about it.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah,
the
we
clip for the show,
basically-
folks.
We basically made love. I basically had sex with
Basically.
Nancy
I
Wilson.
wonder she didn't get pregnant and have kids with you. I'm just saying.
All right.
My closest story to that, and I'll always remember this, is walking into the washroom before a big press conference with Velvet Revolver, and like, we're all situated, set up in this hotel, and I walk in to use the can before this thing starts, and Scott Whelan is standing there at the mirror putting on his makeup and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, crazy.
So what do you say? You just
Hey, what's
Carry
up?
It was
on.
very awkward. I don't think I say anything other than, "Hey, Scott," and that's it. And
Right.
left
Have a
it.
good show.
Yeah, he looked pretty. He looked kind of out of it, actually. He
Yeah,
looked
it was all that heroin, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was weird.
All right, ladies and wait a minute. We've got like can we look? We have a couple minutes. Can we look at some more? We have
Sure,
we have a
absolutely.
crowd. We've got so many comments in here. We need to hit some of them.
That's
Okay.
the Mullet Hall
Healy.
of Fame there, Jeff Healy.
Yeah, yeah.
We have
absolutely.
142
Well,
watching right now.
Yeah,
Thanks everybody for tuning in. This was really a lot of
big
fun.
crowd today. Yeah,
Let's
absolutely.
look at some more comments
Okay,
before we
so
wrap
we've
it up.
got Terry Wachter has mentioned Duran's 7 on the Ragged Tiger and Rio. Let's see.
Send it to Rage Tiger.
Amy, did you sit down to peace? Says, yeah, there we go. We've got Rolling Stones' Dirty Work, of course, which was our cover here. Joan Jett, I Love Rock and Roll. Yeah, great one, right? I think she's got a pink suit on in that one.
Mhm.
Denny Carmassi was in Montrose and Gamma, says Ron D.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I didn't know that stuff about who did you say? Mark Andy's Spirit.
Yeah, he was in Spirit and
Firefall?
what and Firefall.
Firefall? Wow.
Yeah.
bizarre.
That's where he went
I don't
after
think I
the
knew that
breakup of
story.
Spirit.
Let's see. Toxic. Think this. CRT Television's Cold War iconography. Rolling Stones Undercover.
Oh,
Yeah, that fits as well. Yeah, Celtic Frost, Cold Lake. Says Steve. I'm sure it was mentioned already, but it wasn't.
It would.
So thank you for mentioning that. Andrew Meyer says Starship knee deep in the hoopla. Let's see. We've got more autograph, more Kim Wilde, self-titled. MC Hammer. Hammer don't hurt him, says X-Ray Zero. Jan has mentioned Supertramp Brother, Where You Bound. Yeah, that's absolutely awesome.
That's a good one.
You could add Bonnie Tyler, the one with
Bonnie Tyler album. Yes.
Yeah. Rod Stewart, Body Wishes. A lot going on here.
How about this compilation?
Yeah, live and heavy. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good one.
Logan, I am showing my age.
The Alarm, Eye of the Hurricane. Stranglers Feline, yeah, that looks pretty 80s as well for a Stranglers album. Jimmy Buffett, Last Mango, In Paris, Chrissy Steele, Magnet to Steel. Wow.
Holy
Lots.
crap.
You're right, Grant. Lot big crowd today. So thank you for all of these great additions to this.
Man, you guys are
maybe
all
next
over.
week we can do 80s album covers that are timeless. I don't know if there are any.
Ooh.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. We
Interesting.
could probably do that.
We'll have a little meeting after this and discuss.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, I want to thank everybody for coming. If you'd like to be on these panels, well, not necessarily this one, but if you'd like to join the Contrarians, we do have a Patreon. We'd love to have you. We also have a Ko-fi. Buy us a cup or a pint. We'd love to have it. And we also love donations, ladies and gentlemen. We love money. We just do this because we are trying to turn you on to this stuff. We all love music on this panel, and it's a passion. So if we can turn you on to any of these records, our work
Give us money so I can afford a chair.
Yeah, Jamie needs a new chair, ladies and gentlemen. So
Jamie buys a lot of product, right? You know, the Let's Get Physical Facebook page is just an onslaught of product. It's incredible. So support Jamie.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to wrap this up. I'm going to exit with the intro that I was supposed to play because I put it together. I'm going to play it and we'll go to the Patreon thing and we will have a mini meeting. So thanks everyone. We will see you next week. Welcome to the Contrarians and welcome to the Contrarians live chat. It's Wednesday and tonight we are looking at dated 80s album covers. The chat room's open. We want to hear from you. So let's get started.